Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Top 5 Fridays. DBougie86 here again. And as you know, guys, I told you this is the week where I'm going to have two top fives for you. And the first one was the one that I missed, which was top 5 directorial debuts. What that means is these are my favorite directorial debuts. This doesn't mean that they're going to be like the best like movie ever or whatever. You know what I mean? These are the ones that I would want to put in my top 5 pretty much for my favorites. So without further ado, uh, one other thing before I get into this, since it's a personal list, there's going to be directors that are not going to be on here. Like, for example, Wes Craven isn't going to be on here. Or, like, what's his name? Dario Argento. I tried to think outside of, like, the big popular ones, you know what I mean? And I decided to choose, like, 5 that I think don't get enough recognition. Or, like, they're up and coming and they're doing things in the genre now. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Uh, First one up is a film which I actually reviewed on Body Bags recently. Uh, as you know, this film affected me. If you watch my review when I was a kid, because I hate worms, and this is of course the directorial debut of Jeff Lieberman, who's a director that I do like. Like he's not has the hugest filmography ever, but the filmography that he has, I like all the films. Even his latest one, Satan's Little Helper, which is okay in my opinion, but of course his directorial debut is Squirm. Yes, killer worm film. If you haven't seen this, I did a full length review on Body Bags of this, so I'm not going to go too crazy into it. But worms creep me the fuck out, and this is a def like what the fuck, you know. So yeah, Squirm at number 5, Jeffrey Lieberman. Like I said, I enjoy a lot of his films: Blue Sunshine, Just Before Dawn, Remote Control. Then he took a little break, and then he came back with Satan's Little Helper, which has its problems, but I still enjoy it for what it is. So yeah, Squirm. Look at that fucking awesome cover art. Fucking awesomeness right there. That's a number 5. Number 4 is a newer director who's 3 for 3 for me right now. He's directed 3 films. 2 of them, well, actually, a lot of his films are like borderline horror slash like other genres. His new latest one was The Green Room, which it has like that conversation: is it a horror film or not? And this is his first film, Jeremy Sellner, and that, of course, is Murder Party, which is a fucking fun ass trip. Like, gory as all hell, some great like practical effects. Just the story. It takes place on Halloween, and it is good. It's bad shit. This movie's awesome. If you haven't seen Murder Party, I highly recommend it. Of course, after this, he directed Blue Ruin, which isn't a horror film in my opinion. It's a revenge film, but I usually lump those together with like exploitation horror. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is fucking awesome. If you haven't seen this, uh, really fun shit. Murder Party at number 4. Number 3, we have a director who's I actually like more of his films like on rewatch. Like his film after this was House of the Devil, which I didn't like at first, but on rewatch, I grew to appreciate that film for what it was. It was just the mind state of who I was as a viewer at the time when I was first watched that film. And this one is his first film, and I fell in love with it ever since. It's uh, a creature feature of all things, and that is, of course, The Roost, directed by Ty West. This is actually his first film. Uh, Great practical effects in this, and I really like how they do this one. It starts out like this old uh, like a midnight movie like talk show TV show where Tom Noonan actually plays like the host, and he introduces this film, and I really like that aspect of it. Really cool. Like I said, it's a killer bat movie. I love killer bat movies, and this one turns crazy and has some great gore and shit. Of course, this was great shit. I think I'm not sure, but I think this was a Showtime movie because Showtime is on the back of it. But nonetheless, still fucking awesome trip. If you haven't seen The Roost and you like killer bat movies, definitely check it out. That's at number 3. Number 2 is a director which this is going to be kind of controversial because he only has 2 directed films and one of them hasn't come out yet. So, but he has been in the horror genre for a while. He actually wrote the screenplays for 2 films that I know of. One being Sweatshop, which is a slasher film, and he also wrote Andre Schnau's film Nico's the Impaler. And that, of course, is I'm talking about Ted Geoghegan, who also is a producer. I think he actually runs Snowfriend Pictures. Don't hold me to that. I think that's his company where he produces like numerous like indie films. Like the big one that they produce besides like his films are like Starry Eyes, which was a tremendous film that I saw in the few years out of my movie viewing experience. And of course, Ted Geoghegan went on to direct his own film, and that is We Are Still Here. Yes, very ambitious film for a first time project. Very great atmosphere in it. Very memorizing. It's a very love letter to Fulci in a way, especially House by the Cemetery, and his other like aspects like some of the names of the characters are named after characters from The Beyond and House by the Cemetery, like Joe the Electrician is supposed to be Joe the Plumber. Really great effects by Autopsy FX, who is Marcus Cook and his company. Really awesome shit. If you haven't seen We Are Still Here and you're a big fan of your horror, especially the 70s stuff, I highly recommend it. Really great shit right there. And his new film comes out soon called Mohawk. It's kind of like a Native American / like action horror film. I'm not really too because I'm gonna go in blind to this one because I'm very curious to see what this one's really about. I've seen like the cover art of the Blu-ray, so I'm very excited to check that one out. And I hope he does tremendous things. You know what I mean? He's a director. I loved his first film, so I'm looking forward to his follow-up film. But he's always in the horror genre. Like I said, he owns Snowfront Pictures, and he writes, and he actually even wrote the liner notes for Snap's release of the Violent Shit films. So he's very into like the underground stuff as well as like the older 70s stuff, which I respect because I am too. You know what I mean? And number 1 is a director who has maybe like 3 or 4 horror films. One of them's kind of like a serial killer movie. And then he went into like his mainstream stuff. And of course is Peter Jackson I'm talking about. And his first film, Bad Taste. Yes. I fucking love this movie with a passion, man. First time I watched this was a few years ago. And I was hooked to the gore, the comedy, and just the lines, like the one-liners of this one is great. I am a Derek and Derek's never run. Yep, I'm a Derek. Yeah, you know what I mean? Fucking Bad Taste is phenomenal. I highly recommend this movie, guys. It's fucking awesome shit. If you haven't seen Bad Taste, what can I say? It's fucking awesome. So, yeah, that's at number 1. So, yeah, that's it for my top 5 directorial debuts, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to do a little quick rundown. Number 1, Bad Taste. Number 2, We Are Still Here. Number 3, The Roost. Number 4, Murder Party. And number 5, Squirm. Yes, like honorable mentions, like I could have did like Dario Argento, Cronenberg. I actually do own his first film. It's on actually the release of The Brood that I have. But I actually never seen it, so I'm not gonna go that route. You know what I mean? So I'm doing ones that I've seen and I love. So with that being the review, I'm going to take a little break and record my second part, top five, which is going to be top five part threes. And I'll describe more about that when I get into it more. So I'll see you then, guys. Peace out.